Good evening, folks. We're back again. Just a just a couple of more things to reiterate before we get into the show, okay? Number one, Sophie Cunningham has once again come out and said that her injury was not intentional and that she hopes that people will give Bria Hartley a break. She knows Bria Hartley. She knows this wasn't an intentional injury. It was an unfortunate accident, and she has moved on, okay? This is where fandom becomes toxic, okay? Because people just can't let it go because, of course, they know more than the person who was actually injured, okay? We got to stop. I'm not going to address it anymore. It's over now. Sophie has moved on. You need to move on. That's number one. Number two, the continued conversation about the fact that Caitlin Clark bulked up over the offseason being the reason for her injuries is just bunk, okay? It's bunk. And I have a great 28-minute video that I will put in the description of this video that you can take the time to watch so that you understand that what Caitlin Clark did in the offseason is essential for her to be able to play in the pros. The pros are an entirely different animal than college ball, which is why you will never have Caitlin Clark playing Lisa Bluter college basketball in the WNBA, which brings me, to my next topic. You will see Caitlin Clark basketball. There is absolutely no question about it. Caitlin Clark will be the floor leader. She will be the person dishing out assists. She will be the person scoring baskets. She will be a dominant force in the WNBA. Okay? This is a minor setback. This is a setback that other professional players have gone through. Michael Jordan missed 62 games in his second season with injury. Okay? Injuries happen. They have happened throughout the NBA this year, the WNBA this year, to a lot of people. There's a lot of people out right now with injury. Okay? Aside from the four on the Indiana Fever, there are a host of other players who are currently out with injuries. And some of them are out for the duration now, okay? Here's a little list, okay? And this is not even everybody. Jordan Canada, hamstring. Courtney Vandersloot, torn ACL, gone for the season. Tyasha Harris, gone for the season with a knee injury. Brianna Stewart, out with a leg injury. Nyara Sabally, out with a knee injury. Katie Lou Samuelson, gone for the season with a knee injury. Brittany Griner, out with a nose injury. This is the sport. This is the sport in the pros. Okay? This is a first for Caitlin Clark, and it has been a learning experience for Caitlin Clark. And it's probably a good learning experience for Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark will be injured again during her long career in the WNBA. So we had somebody come on the comment thread saying that if she can't play Caitlin Clark basketball the way she played in Iowa, then we don't want to watch her. Well, that's unfortunate because she's not in Iowa anymore. She's in the WNBA now. And Caitlin Clark will tell you exactly what the differences are between playing college ball and playing in the pros. This is a quote, and she is absolutely right. Professional players and coaches, this is no disrespect to women's college basketball, are a lot smarter. If you go back and watch the way people guided me in college, it's almost like concerning. They didn't double me. They didn't trap me. They weren't physical. And it's hard. It's college. A lot of those women will never go on to play another basketball game in their life. They don't have the IQ to understand how the game works. So I completely understand it. And it is no disrespect at all. They don't have the IQ. You have to simplify it for girls at that age. Point in fact, of all the women who play college hoops, only 0.9% catch on in the WNBA. There are not that many picks for the number of people who play in the college level. That's true of all sports, but just so people understand that. And if you are a college player and you make it to the WNBA and you don't adapt to the professional game, you will not be successful in the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark knows that. So she can come here and use her incredible skills on a professional level. But she cannot come here and pretend she's at the University of Iowa and survive in the WNBA. She has to adjust her game. There are things she still has to learn, and she has admitted this. She knows that she can't be as daring with the ball as she was in college. She knows she has to endure the physicality. That's why she worked out in the offseason. And by the way, she only gained 8 pounds. That is not what has contributed to her injury. What has made this season for her so up and down is the fact that she was coming back from the injuries way too soon. We've watched it. She was not 100% when she was playing. You could see that. She came back. She could string together 5 games maybe, and then she'd injure herself again. She'd either aggravate the old injury or because she was favoring the right side, that's how she injured her right groin. So now we have a situation where for what is best for all, they're going to be cautious with Caitlin Clark. She is the future of the Indiana Fever. She is the franchise's engine. And they are more concerned with her long-term health than rushing her back onto the court, which is why they're not giving you a date, because they cannot give you a date. And I'm going to say this now one more time. The newest injury that everyone is blowing up the internet over, the foot injury, the bone bruise, is minor. It is neither the reason why she is out of the lineup or affecting her rehab process. Sophie Cunningham herself said that Caitlin Clark spends 8 hours a day in rehab. That's how bad she wants to get back on the court before the end of the season. She doesn't have to do 8 hours a day, but that's what she's doing. She is the consummate professional. She wants to be out there not only for her teammates, but because she knows she has a lot of fans. So she continues to work on it. But this notion that the Indiana Fever was hiding stuff from you by not telling you about her foot injury or her leg injury or whatever the hell it is, her ankle injury, has nothing to do with hiding it. It's just not significant. It's not significant. It is not the problem. Her right groin is the problem. It has been the problem. And that is why she's not playing basketball. Now, she has been running. She has been moving on the court. She has been out there with her teammates, but she has not been in full practice. Not yet. And we will keep an eye out for that. It's anticipated soon. But the requirement is that she get back in full practice with her teammates and then has several full practices with her teammates before she can come back. The season does not end until September 9th. The playoffs don't begin till September 14th. We will see that if she comes back, but she is most certainly working on it, and she is still not listed as gone for the season. She is not shut down. Now, Brianna Turner, or as they call her in the clubhouse, Breezy, who a few weeks ago, everybody out there was saying that she needed to be cut because she doesn't play any more than 4 minutes of games. She's probably not cut out for the WNBA. She's in her 7th season, folks. Okay? She's in her 7th season. And Brianna Turner was a huge part of their 21-point comeback win the other night. She got into the game with about 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the third quarter, and she remained in the game for a good portion of the fourth quarter, and her defense was huge. Huge. She went out for a while, then she came back in again towards the end of the fourth quarter, and she remained in there for the entire overtime, and her defense was huge again in overtime. But probably the best moment of her time on the floor was when she drove to the basket and then dished the ball off to Lexi Hull, who was wide open for a three with 44.9 seconds left, to make sure that the Indiana Fever won the game. So yes, Kelsey Mitchell put the team on her back. That's what great players do. But let us not underestimate the importance of role players, because nobody can have a team full of superstars. They have to have people who are ready to come off the bench and contribute when they're called on. And Brianna Turner proved that she can do that. So people need to stop the nonsense, okay? Because I'm sure she'll be called upon again when they get back into playing again next week. Or I believe they play on the 22nd, right? Tomorrow. They have a game tomorrow, and then they have a game on Sunday. Back to back with the Lynx, I believe. One's at home and one's away, I think. We'll see what happens. But one thing's for certain, and the other thing I'm going to put in this video is Stephanie White's speech to the team after the win. The Indiana Fever do not have a toxic clubhouse. They have a clubhouse full of players all pulling for each other. That's what teammates, true teammates are, okay? A group of people who pull for each other. And that includes the 4 players that are not on the floor. When they stand up for the national anthem, the players leave a space for those players out of respect. This clubhouse is not toxic, no matter what any of those people are telling you. And no matter how you feel about Stephanie White as a coach, she has managed to keep them together. And while I still support Natalie Nakasi getting the Coach of the Year honors for what she's been able to do with the Valkyries, who are an expansion team, Stephanie White certainly has to be in the conversation, just as Kelsey Mitchell, who was the WNBA Player of the Week this week, should now be in the conversation for the MVP. And that is coming from the mouth of the person who was the favorite to win the MVP this year before injuries decimated her season, and that is Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark said that. Caitlin Clark's not worried about Kelsey Mitchell taking her job, okay? She's not. Kelsey Mitchell can't take Caitlin Clark's job away from her. So we all need to just chill out and stop with the negativity. I know people love drama. I know people love conspiracy theories. I know that. The new conspiracy theory out there is that the assistant coach, Christmas Kennedy, hurt Caitlin Clark when she stepped on her foot. I mean, it just never stops. There are so many other things we could be talking about. So as of right now, the discussion about Sophie Cunningham being deliberately targeted is over. That's coming from Sophie Cunningham's mouth. She was there. She knows. You don't. And I'm going to close on an upbeat note. An upbeat note with Aaliyah Boston talking about her pregame ritual with Caitlin Clark.
The pregame routines start with Caitlin Clark?
I mean, it really just started one game where we just gave each other a hug, and she was like, "You're gonna be amazing because you are amazing." And then I said it back, and we've just done it every game. Even though she's been out for a while, like I make sure I get my pregame hug. I think it's just nice to kind of just give that confidence to each other before every game, and we just continue to do that.
That 1-2 punch confidence. I bet you guys won that game too, because like
Yeah,
it's you got to keep
you're just
that.
ready to go. You just feel it. You're like, you know what? I am gonna be amazing. I am.
Nothing toxic about this team, folks. And by the way, in closing, the WNBA broke all kinds of attendance records this year. And yes, a lot of that is probably Caitlin Clark. But the good news is those people are staying around, okay? And it's been felt across the league. But the number one team in attendance is indeed the Indiana Fever. And this is what you would want, okay? You would want Caitlin Clark to bring people to this game and have them stick around whether or not she's on the court or not. And that's what she has done for the WNBA. And it is what she will continue to do for the WNBA when she comes back from her injury. And she will be back. She will be back. And I am somehow still optimistic that she will be back this year. We will see how this goes. That will depend on how she does when she gets into practice with her teammates. If there are no setbacks, I anticipate that we will see Caitlin Clark back on the court. We just can't tell you exactly when. I will talk to you guys again, if not later tonight, most definitely tomorrow morning before I go off to work. And like I said the other day, I got a list of things we're going to talk about that we're going to get to. And we are certainly going to do that. I will talk to you all soon.